And just my final question for each of you, based on what you've heard from today, and I think we've all learned a lot from the collection of speakers that we have had. Well, any final comments or thoughts based on what you've heard? I'm looking at you, David, but I'll ask you first, Alan.
So I think the most interesting thing we heard today was that link between trust and customers, trust and transparency of tariffs, and their willingness then to go further in the relationship and take more services from that provider. So effectively, if we can't establish a communication around the tariffs and services today in a way that's open and that the customer understands and is happy with, it makes it much more difficult to go and sell them additional services, which in their mind adds additional complexity to what they don't understand.
Yeah.
So
I think I'd follow on that theme, that what I learned today is that customers who are less likely to understand how the bill is either formed or the charges within the bill, within a bundle as an example, are probably less likely to buy new services, less likely to engage in different formats with you, and less likely in theory to trust you. So for me, it's about how really understanding that customer profile to engage the customer more and better and richer data. And I think the second point was that it's not that just one size bill fits all, is that there could be another type of bill that you can send the customer at a different touch point, different journey along the life cycle. So that's something that's quite interesting to consider, that we could possibly tailor and personalize our bills a little bit more in our life cycle. So I'm very interested in personalization, because I think it is how you restore the trust and you really build that individual one-to-one relationship that you try to foster for a lifetime. So I think that's something I took away from today.
Okay, great. David?
Well, I think the degree of commonality in what we heard today was particularly interesting for me. So, I spend a lot of time talking about these themes, but rarely do I have so many other people from different viewpoints and disciplines also talking about the same issue. So whether you look at the situation from a kind of research and analyst perspective, whether you're looking at it from a sort of end user and design perspective, whether you're looking at it from a business and technology perspective, what we see is that there is broad agreement from consumers, from operators and from everyone that bills are not really performing adequately currently for the number of reasons we've all discussed in the sessions today. But I think that broad agreement is the first step towards improving the situation. And for a long time the status quo has existed based on the constraints, but there is a clear desire to improve things for consumers, and that's an exciting place to be.
Listen, thank you all very much. It's been a fascinating day and a fascinating discussion. I'd like the audience to express their appreciation for our panel.